So you left everything. You left everything on the floor. You didn't walk away with nothing. You left it all out there. You probably scored on last 7, 8 points. And it ain't even about the point you competed. You gave me everything. You have nothing left for the night. You have nothing left. That's all I can ask you. And you hit a game-winning three-point shot to win it all. I'm telling you, if you attack life that way, everything, school, home, family, work, education, if you attack it like that, like you just did that, you can be successful. You're gonna be successful in life.
Hi,
We did it.
we did it. Oh man, it's finally good. We've been emailing back and forth.
It's so nice to meet you.
You as well. You as well. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Coach Hal. I appreciate you spending your time here. You're a basketball coach,
I am.
not in a school. I think, do you have a clinic?
I coach club basketball, so like AAU basketball. Our club is called Aim High Elite Athletes.
And it's your private club.
It is. Well, so I'm assistant director.
Okay.
My our head coach, my main coach is Reggie Fox.
Okay.
Reggie and Misha Fox. I've been coaching under them and partnering with them for about, man, let me see. My son is 13. So yeah, about 12 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So,
I remember strolling him into the gym and strolling.
yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. Do you coach your son?
I do. So I have two of my boys play basketball.
With
My
you?
oldest son, he graduated last year.
Graduated high
Yeah,
school?
so he was second grade when he first started,
Oh, wow.
when we first started coaching. And my middle son, Anthony, he is now an eighth grader.
Yeah.
And he started doing our skills academy and everything when he was like 4.
Is it hard coaching your kids?
It's challenging.
I'm sure, because you have a different kind of relationship.
Sure. So it's hard. It's hard for parents in a sense to coach their kids because there's a familiarity issue there.
Right.
But it's been so it hasn't been hard for me. It's been challenging. It's two
Right.
different things.
Right.
Right. So my oldest son, Jaden, he when I first started coaching, see, when he started playing, I was coaching. So he kind of saw me as coach.
Right.
Right. And so we had a different like I have kids that I personal train that their parents, their dads know how to play basketball.
Right.
But it's just that they don't listen, kids don't listen. Oh,
Right.
that's just dad. You know what I mean?
Right.
I haven't had that
4
issue.
kids.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, my son sees me in a coach's light.
Yeah.
So I'm able to train him and coach him.
And he
Where
listens.
we used to have challenges was because he's my son and I know him so well, when he's slacking and he's trying to hide it, he can't hide it from me.
And he can't separate the dad from the coach.
Correct. And so
Yeah.
sometimes with my passion, I would actually get into dad son mode.
Yeah. Yeah.
When it should be coach player mode.
Right. But but again, it's a hard thing, when you have your automatic response with your family every day.
Correct.
It's hard yeah.
So where I learned was my head coach, our main coach, Coach Reggie Fox, he used to tell me, he said, "Hey, listen, all of our parents know that that's your kid.
Yeah.
So when you're getting on him like that,
Yeah.
they see it in a different light. But the opposition, the other team's parents,
don't know that that's your son. So they may look at it like, wow, I don't want my kid playing for that coach because he's,
Oh, funny, tough.
you see what I'm saying? So when he broke that down to me, I'm like, okay, that, because if we want other kids to come, if we want to be attractive to other parents and
Right.
kids, we don't, like I said, my parents know, oh, that's his son, that's what he's doing.
Yeah,
Other parents may not. So then, as I started to learn how to navigate that,
yeah.
then it became better.
There's nothing better than another viewpoint.
Sure, sure. Now, my oldest son, Jaden, he's not my biological child.
Hmm.
But I've had him his whole life since he was like 1.
Yeah.
Now my middle son, Anthony, is mine biologically.
Hmm.
And so I gave Jaden everything I had, like
Yep.
everything. And I said, well, Anthony, it's not gonna be hard because I've already done this with Jaden. But for some reason, it was harder.
They're different kids,
Yeah, and
different mentality,
I think
different work
because I
ethic.
see, well, I understand it now. I had to think about it, but I'm like, why is it? Because like he's my body, he's me. He looks like me. He acts like me,
Yeah.
and so Jaden, you can tell that he's not my son. His biological dad is white.
Yeah.
But again, he's not my stepson. He's my son,
Yeah. That's nice.
right? But but I had to, and this is recently, like over the last year and a half. I was like, man, why am I getting so tense when it comes to Anthony?
Yeah.
And I'm such a, like, when I play ball, when I still play ball, but when I play, I'm such an aggressor.
Yeah.
And my son Jaden, the older one, was the same way.
Yeah.
Whereas my son Anthony, he his twitch muscle, like he's not aggressive just yet.
Yeah.
And so I get to like, yo, what are you doing? Like,
You
and
gotta
I'm like, no,
go.
I gotta calm down. I'm being a
Yeah.
dad and I'm not being a
It's
coach.
funny, just watching my own kids play sports.
Yeah.
I have two kids that are animals, and I
Okay.
have two kids that like to play.
Okay.
So they have two different personalities. The animals, they go out and they get that ball and they try to get it into that net. They try to get it into the whatever.
Sure.
They try to make the shot and they do everything it takes in that, 2 to 3 minutes,
Sure.
that shot. And then the kids that like to play, they stay on the sides. If the ball comes their way, maybe they'll get it.
Ah,
And they play that way. And you realize you have to meet them. You can
sure.
show them, you can teach them, you can tell them to go get it, you can tell them to, you know, go after it, but it has to be in your heart.
For sure. I had when I first started coaching, my my very first trainee, her name was Allie. Her mom, Miss Sherry, she told me a story. She said her oldest son was, her two boys were really good baseball players. Very, very good baseball players. She said her oldest son was the animal. I
Mhm.
mean, just
Yeah,
psycho, like everything. If he had a bad game, he would have to be at the field for another 5, 6 hours.
right,
He
right,
was really after it.
right,
She said her middle son was really good, but he just relaxed and played for the love of it.
right,
And
right.
she said,
Which
I
is
think, if
fine.
I'm not mistaken, the middle son winded up making it further along in the sport, but he just was cool, calm, and collective.
Right.
And it almost drove the older son crazy because it's like he don't put in the work like I do.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
again, he just played for the love of it, and it came to him.
Right, right. What really struck me about you is how much you care about the kids.
That's awesome.
It really came through. I watched a lot of your videos on Instagram. I just want to play the one that I saw first,
Sure.
with Preston. And, you know, you really encouraged him.
So you left everything. You left everything on the floor. You didn't walk away with nothing. You left it all out there. You probably scored on last 7, 8 points. And it ain't even about the points you competed. You gave me everything. You have nothing left for the night. You have nothing left. That's all I can ask you. And you hit a game-winning 3-point shot to win it all. I'm telling you, if you attack life that way, everything, school, home, family, work, education, if you attack it like that, like you just did that, you're gonna be successful. You're gonna be successful in life because you just gave it all on the floor. I love it. I love it. I want to coach you again. You understand? Come on, man. Keep it going.
Are you still coaching him?
Yeah, so Preston, he's such a great kid. He doesn't normally play with our club, but he plays with another club that I'm actually connected and familiar with, right? Like the high school that my son went to, that the head coach over there, he runs a different program.
Gotcha.
But actually in another league, like a church league, my head coach, Reggie Fox, his son and Preston played on the same team.
Gotcha.
So then that's where the connection came in at.
Yeah.
But yes, I do still coach Preston. It's funny because in that moment, like I didn't know that my son was recording.
Yeah, which is beautiful.
I mean, I kind of caught him at the side of my eye.
Yeah.
And the next day, like when I was going through the videos, I'm like, I don't like that video. I don't like the angle that he like.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, I was like, I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna put that out. Like, I don't like how my face was. I don't like the angle.
You know,
But
no one saw what you saw. I think what myself and other people saw was just the love that you have of the sport,
sure,
the love that you have of encouraging kids, which today, let's be honest, they need those words.
for sure.
They need to get off their phones. They need to hear our stories about what life is like and
Sure.
how life isn't, a perfect Instagram post. And, that's really not going to give you, it's not going to give you a good life.
Sure. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
So in that moment, right? So what it was is like, and I think, I had the other video to attach to it, but we run an actual league. We run we call it aim high rec runs. And what we really try to do is we match up talent. Right. And a lot of tournaments and leagues, what they'll do is they just put teams together. So you may have a bronze level team that's playing a gold level team, and then the gold level team will beat them by 50, 60 points. And
right.
So what we try to do is we try to avoid that. Right.
Yeah.
It initially started with just focusing on developmental teams to give them a platform to come and play and compete. And so what we would do is I'd find another bronze level or developmental team, and I'll match those teams up. But we do it so if I have a silver team or if I have a gold team, I'll just make sure that gold team isn't playing a bronze level team. They have to, they're a 7th grade gold level team.
Right.
If I don't have another 7th grade gold level team, then I'll put them against a a eighth grade bronze or eighth grade silver,
Yeah.
just to try to match up the talent. So
Right.
what happened in that game is what is exactly what we try to create. We want kids to feel what it feels like to be in a 1 point game with 2 minutes left,
Yeah.
right? And so sometimes those developmental kids, if they're playing in tournaments or things like that, they rarely get in the game when it matters.
Yeah.
So they'll get in the game when they're up 20 or down 20,
Right.
or they'll get in early in the game, but they don't really get those late minute,
Right.
tight minute games.
Because those are saved for like the better players.
Correct.
Yeah.
So we try to create that platform,
I
right? And
love
so
that.
exactly what we did. We matched the game up. The game was a great game. Um, we winded up going into overtime.
Hmm.
Okay, so let me kind of back up a little bit, right? So as the game is going on and the vibe in the gym is really good, parents, a lot of parents, the other teams that are playing after them are already there. So the gym
Yeah.
is kind of packed.
Yeah.
And so as the game is going on, I'm watching Preston and he's getting into this like this. I'm
Mode.
like, so and I actually made the mistake one time. I said, "Hey, it's all right. It's all right. Don't worry about it. Like,
Yeah.
don't be frustrated. Just keep playing."
Yeah. Yeah.
And so when I like another timeout, he was doing the same thing. And I had to pay attention. I caught it like, wait a minute, he's not upset.
Yeah.
He's getting in his mode,
Yep.
right?
Interesting.
So
How
he's a
old is
Native
he?
American kid.
Yeah, he looked Native American to me. I would never
Correct.
assume, but he looked Native American to me. How
Yeah,
old
so
is he?
Preston is a fifth, he's a fourth or fifth, I think he's a fourth grader.
So about
He's a fourth
11,
grader.
10 or 11.
That would be 11, 10. 10. Well,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
about the 10 or 11. Yeah.
Yeah, it's young.
He's young, right? And so he started to almost get into a tribal type of mode,
I love that.
right? But at first I missed it. I
Hmm.
thought, because his body and I'm like, he's mad. What are you mad for? Stop, don't be mad.
Yeah.
But like I said, I made the mistake the first time, and then when I saw him do it again, I'm like, wait a minute, he's not mad. He's getting into his mode.
He's gearing up.
He's gearing up, right? So I let him go, and so he like really, so he just gave.
It's a
Like I've
beautiful
seen
thing.
kids compete,
Yeah.
right? Like I'm an ultimate competitor.
Yeah. I saw that in your videos.
It was a little different, right? Like he kind of got into another zone,
Yep.
and it had nothing to do with the production on the court.
Yeah.
It was his approach to it,
Yeah.
right? And so just so like I would have gave him that same speech had we lost the game,
Yeah.
right? It had
Of
nothing to
course.
do with the win or the loss. It was the way he approached it.
He went for it.
He went for it. And that's all. As a coach, as a parent, as a mentor, as an adult, that's all we can ask from you. Just to
Right.
go for it.
Right.
Whatever that means to you.
And I think those lessons young are so crucial. You and I
Sure.
both know how challenging life is. It's
Sure.
up and it's down. And when it's down, you still have to give your life 150%. You have children, you have bills to pay, you have things to do, you have things that people need.
Sure.
And when you teach kids this skill to give it your all, to trust yourself, to believe in yourself, and
Sure.
you know, that Preston's going to carry that with him. He 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 made something that day
Right.
that he's going to have forever. And I'm sure you encouraged him to find that.
Sure. That is that's a great observation.
I just wanted to ask you, where did your love of basketball come from?
That's a great question. Um, so I personally, I'm born and raised in Chicago, Illinois,
And where are you right now?
Phoenix, Arizona.
Okay.
Yep. Uh, yeah, I currently reside out in Phoenix, Arizona. But so yeah, I grew up west side of Chicago. Um, wasn't wouldn't say I was poor or impoverished or anything like that, but it's just what we did. I'm an '80s baby, so
Yeah,
I,
I'm
I grew up.
77.
Gotcha. I'm 82.
Yeah, so we're not too far
So right, right. So we were
all the time.
outside, right? And so um, if you ask certain people what's the basketball mecca of the country, they would say New York. We say
Oh,
Chicago,
absolutely. Absolutely.
right?
West 4th Street. Like you guys have nothing on West 4th Street.
So we would say Chicago, right? So
That's
and
funny.
right, and so I'm a Bull, I'm a Michael Jordan
Yep.
Bulls kid, right? So I grew up in that era. So my love of basketball um just came from my neighborhood,
Yeah.
right? So in my neighborhood, we played everything, right? So we played basketball, we played football, played baseball, but basketball was the one I kind of navigated to.
Yeah.
Um, that love grew, so I grew up in Chicago. I moved to Minneapolis. My grandmother and half my family moved to Minneapolis. And so in Chicago, I played with actually right before I moved, I became a part of a really, really talented basketball team,
Hmm.
the Chicago Court Masters.
Okay.
Um, Actually, looking back on that team, we had maybe three pros and
Yeah.
two Division I players.
Yeah.
But then I moved to Minnesota and I got with a really good club team there in Minnesota.
Yeah.
And so when I moved to Minnesota, I was away. I was with family, but my mom was in Chicago and my dad was in Phoenix,
Oh, wow. So
right?
was your grandmother raising you at the time?
Well, so the Washington side of the family were pretty huge. So my grandparents had 13 kids,
Oh,
11
wow.
girls and two boys. So
Yeah.
um, both of my uncles were in Minnesota at the time, and about three or four, maybe four or five aunts were up there.
Yeah. Do you mind me asking
So
why you separated from your parents?
that's a great question. No, so my parents, they separated when I was probably about second grade.
Okay. 8 years old.
Um, and my mom separated, and my dad moved to Arizona with my stepmom and my stepsisters.
Gotcha.
Um, then my mom kind of got into, she got into some legal stuff and stuff like that, just trying
Yeah.
to find her way. So
Yeah.
I moved in '94. I moved out to Arizona with my dad.
Yeah.
But I was only here for a year. That was my fourth grade year, and I kind of got homesick. I wanted to go back to Chicago.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, and so I went back to Chicago, started playing, and did everything there, and then I was back in Chicago for about 2 years, and then my mom, her situation was changing, so they kind of wanted to move me out of Chicago. It was really, really dangerous at that point.
Yeah.
Uh, Um, and that's when I moved to Minnesota.
Yeah.
And hindsight, I probably should have moved back to Arizona with my father if
Yeah.
I wasn't going to be with my mom,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And so, I mean, I don't regret it. Like, I mean, I think there are certain things that happened in Minnesota that kind of made it a struggle as an adult. that probably wouldn't have happened if I was with my father.
You know, we will never know the answer.
Correct. Correct.
We
Yep.
we will never know. And
Yeah.
you know, my past, as challenging as it was, and as many lessons that I had to learn with, my own difficult past with my mother and father, it created me. It shaped me.
Gotcha.
It molded me. And, it's,
Um,
I think people that have struggled and are honest with those struggles within themselves,
yeah. Yeah.
I think the beauty of is it doesn't harden you. It softens.
Got it. Got it. Let me ask you this. This is kind of off topic, but do you have a background in like psychology or anything like
No,
that?
zero. I'm just
You
really interested in people and their stories.
got it. Got it. Because you have an like a opening, inviting spirit to yourself,
I
right?
care.
Like, yeah, right, right. And so, like, like, like you'd be an awesome therapist or something. Like
I
people would just,
don't I don't take for granted that you're sharing something with me. I don't take for
gotcha.
granted that you're sitting here on a call with a total stranger and you're opening yourself up to me. Like, I don't take that for granted. And it's really my MO. Like, my MO,
Gotcha.
this is brand new for me.
Okay.
But one thing that I've always had in my heart, I'm 47, I have 4 children. Um, this is like my next kind of chapter. So the MO is the human connection.
Okay.
And the MO is we have more in common than differences. And that,
You mean as in the human race?
oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Look at two total strangers, two completely different existences, two
Mm-hmm.
completely different upbringings, some similarities,
Mm-hmm.
um, more similarities than not. Look at how much you have a big heart. Like, I snapped that up immediately. I
Mm.
saw it immediately. And a lot of people share that same desire not to fight, to be more together, not to argue. Nobody wants to argue.
Sure.
Most people want to be in community with each other,
Right.
less discourse. So
Sure. Sure.
that's really where I'm coming from. And, the fact that I really place a lot of value in how you mentor your kids
Okay.
and how you teach them how to reach for a higher goal. You talk about the people that you grew up with, how the same
Mm-hmm.
guys that you grew up with
Mm.
are on the same street corner,
Mm-hmm.
drinking and telling the same stories. And you're sharing that story with the kids. And I saw those kids listening. Do you feel like the kids are absorbing what you're saying?
Um, yes. Yes. I would hope so. I believe so. Um, yes, to answer your question, yes. And I think it's because they people in general, especially kids, they don't necessarily care what you know until they know that you care.
Yeah.
And so I feel like my kids know that I care about them, right? And so I don't so it's funny because the stuff that I'm now like I just recently started sharing moments like I'm just starting to get into Instagram and social media and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
all like that stuff that I told Preston, like me and Coach Reggie, we talk about it all the time. Like, man, sometimes we take stuff for granted. Like, I didn't think that that was like mind breaking what I said to him because I say stuff like that all the time.
Right.
But it's but I do think that they're listening. The next step is if they retain it and apply it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that part of it I have no control over. But one thing that I have learned from my pastor, um, uh, I've been serving under my pastor for about 12, 13 years. But one thing I learned from him is that it's not my it's not my job to fill your cup. It's my job to empty mine.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I was like, wow. So when he said that, uh, that stuck with me. So like with my so in context of what we're talking about, it's not my job to necessarily make them listen. It's my job to pour out what I have to them.
Yeah,
You know?
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Was there a coach in your life that
Yes.
gave you that?
That gave me what per se?
What you are giving the kids? Positive
Um,
reinforcement,
that's a great question.
confidence.
I love your line of questioning. You're asking all the right questions.
Oh, thank
Um,
you.
um, so I always feel like in life you need to have mentors and mentees. I think that that transaction is healthy for life. Um, my knowledge, like I played basketball, I played some level of college, but my knowledge of basketball grew when I got with Reggie Fox,
Hmm.
who
You've been
was
with him
my
for 13 years, right?
yes, it was about 12. Yeah, yeah, it's about 20 October of 2011. November of 2011 is when I
Okay.
first started with. Um, and so I he is the best basketball brain that I've ever been a part of.
Hmm.
And not saying he's the best in the world, but the best
Yeah.
that I've ever been around.
Yeah.
He just
Interesting.
knows the game. And now he is close and was mentored to arguably the best basketball brain ever, which was Magic Johnson.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he
Interesting.
he he grew up and been around and is still to this day close friends with Magic Johnson,
Yeah. Interesting.
right? So my knowledge of basketball comes directly from Reggie Fox.
Yeah.
My um my ability to articulate and deliver the game of basketball to the kids that come directly from my pastor Gene Herndon.
Hmm.
So, which almost so I started serving. I started attending Stone Point Community Church. Anthony was born in 2000, so it had to have been about 2000, the beginning of 2010.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got with Coach Reggie about the end of 2011.
Mm-hmm.
So on that trajectory, um, I gained knowledge of basketball, but I also understood. Like my pastor does a very good job of speculating the word. Like he can really make the word of God make sense.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've learned how to make the game of basketball make sense to a player.
Hmm. Interesting.
So that's where my expertise, I feel like, in my what separates me from what makes me unique in my own right is I can look at a kid, maybe take two dribbles and say, oh well, okay, that kid can play, or he needs to work on this or work on that. It's just I don't take credit for it. It's all God.
Yeah, of
Um, yeah,
course.
I don't take any credit for it, but that's where now as a kid, I did have coaches in Chicago. My middle school coach, Mr. Rooks. That's funny.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Rooks was a cool guy.
Yeah.
He I don't know. He just saw something in me. He took to me pretty well. So like he would take me places after school. after practice, meaning like he would donate. Now that I think about it, that's crazy. I've never really put my mind on this, and you just
Right.
took my mind there.
Yeah.
But now as an adult, I can see how much his personal time he gave to us. I didn't understand it as
Yeah.
a kid,
Yeah.
but I can see it now. And I promise you, I've never really put my mind directly where it
I
is right
think
now with this
you should
situation.
give him a call.
For real, that's why I just laughed like Mr. Rooks, like it put a smile on my
Yep.
face.
Yep.
Um, but he would take me to like he would not just me, a couple other players as well, but he would take us to this hotel that the visiting team would come to and stay at when they would come play the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah. Oh, funny.
Yeah, so like they would have like like a little rope tied off that you couldn't get to a certain, but
Yeah.
you would watch them get on the bus.
Oh,
I remember
funny.
watching Shaq and Penny, and
That
I
must
remember
have been just,
yeah, yeah.
unbelievable.
And so he would take me to other coaches. Hey, this is my player. Terrell. He's coming up. I think I was fifth, sixth grade at the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so yeah, so I had a pretty good basketball name in Chicago at that time.
Yeah.
I had an
Interesting.
article in the Chicago Tribune. I was on that trajectory. So then when I moved to Minneapolis, I moved there as a seventh grader.
Hmm.
And I got with a really good basketball club there. And I still have the relationship with those coaches to this day.
You must have had a very serious love of basketball if you're able to uproot yourself from a very comfortable place,
Sure,
really at the age of 13 years old, and pick up with a new group is pretty remarkable in itself. And
sure.
to
Um,
it that
you
wasn't
know what? The, I'm sorry not to cut you off, but because you have my mind rolling right now, so I appreciate that. But when you asked me your original question, where did my love of the game of basketball come from? Um, my so my the house that I grew up in from a little bitty baby, it was kind of northwest Chicago.
Mhm.
Um, super dope neighborhood. We just middle class neighborhood.
Yeah.
But when I moved to Arizona and I moved back to Chicago, we moved to my grandfather's neighborhood,
Hmm.
my original neighborhood that we
Hmm.
still have. My grandparents passed on about 5 years ago, but we still have the house.
Okay.
And that neighborhood is a little more rough,
Yeah.
right? And so that's everybody in our family lived at that house that
Yeah.
at one time in their life. That's that
Yeah.
house. And so every day, so as living in that neighborhood, there was poverty around me every day.
Hmm.
There wasn't much opportunity. You were either getting into the drug game, or you were game banging, or
Yeah.
you were playing sports.
Yeah.
And
Not a lot of
so,
options.
but so in order for me not to indulge, so I always kind of tell this story. When I came out of my house, my grandfather's house, I could either turn right and go to the corner and hang with the fellas and everybody on the corner, or I can go left and take a longer walk, and that was to the park.
Why did you
And
go left?
well, every time I went right, we were getting into something.
Yeah.
It was either fighting, it was either, it was something. It was always something. Like I
Bad.
said, those same some of those guys that I went to elementary school, they're still there,
Yeah.
right? And so I would go left because yeah, my grandfather didn't play that, right?
Yeah.
Like and it was
Well,
one of those.
you had a strong influence in your life.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Yeah, my family were, my dad's always been like I'm here in Arizona because of my dad.
Yeah.
Like I work with my dad. Like I drive trucks. Me and my dad's the owner operator.
Yeah.
So my dad's always been there. But when I didn't have him, I had my grandfather.
Is that your dad's
Um,
father?
that's actually my mom's father.
Okay.
hmm And so yeah, I've always had strong men in my life. Now that
Yeah.
I think about it,
Which is really
but
important.
yes, so that's where basketball became my safe haven.
Hmm.
Um, and it developed around that time. And coming from the west side of Chicago, Columbus Park, it was rough up there. Rough meaning it it was aggressive up
Yeah. It's
there
dangerous.
from a basketball standpoint, aggressive, and just from a neighborhood standpoint, aggressive,
Yeah.
right? But so basketball just became my when I was on the court, I didn't think about what was around me.
Yeah.
I didn't think about, like I said, we were never dirt poor. Like I never went hungry.
Exactly.
But
Same.
it was, yeah, it
We
was
had everything
crime.
we needed.
Sure. It
Yeah.
was crime in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
It was just one.
I didn't grow up with crime in my neighborhood. Like it was pretty safe. You could walk
Where
around.
where where did you grow up?
Bay Ridge, Brooklyn.
Oh, you're okay. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, but it was a very safe neighborhood. My dad was Irish and my mother's Indian. So it was a predominantly like Italian
Gotcha.
neighborhood. So my
Gotcha.
sister and I caught a lot of heat for being Indian. Um,
Oh,
yeah,
wow. Okay.
yeah. So, it didn't bother me though, growing up.
Now, how many siblings do you have?
Just one, just
Just
one
you and your
older
sister?
sister. Yeah. And you?
Um, so I have my mom. So I have a sister with me and my mom, and I have one sister with me and my dad.
Gotcha. So
But
not
then
a,
I also have three stepsisters with my
okay.
dad as well.
Okay. Are you all close?
We are. Yes,
Good.
my sister from my mom's side, she lives here now in Arizona. Uh, we're super close. I'm not as close with my sister from my dad's side. She lives in Milwaukee.
Mhm.
Um, I love her to no end.
Yeah,
Which I definitely want to connect with her. And my stepsisters were close.
yeah. It seems
And
like
so,
you have a
one
really nice family.
yeah, one thing that kind of, I guess it wasn't didn't bother me, but I don't have any biological brothers,
Yeah,
but I have a lot of cousins around my age.
yeah,
So my cousins became my brothers, and my
yeah,
basketball teammates became my brothers.
yeah, yeah. Well,
Right.
it's your family and then your chosen family.
Sure.
The
That's a
people
great way to put that. Yeah, that's a great way to put that.
I've heard that. The people that you choose to be around that
Sure.
are like your family and,
They are.
would kind of do anything for you and vice versa.
Right. No, that's for sure. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
We're just hitting the 1 hour mark and I just wanted to do, let's see how much you know about basketball quiz.
That's awesome. Let's do it.
Are you ready? Okay.
Yes.
Which NBA team has made the most appearances in the finals?
Mm,
Which NBA team has made the most appearances in the finals?
I would have to say the most appearances in the finals will either have to be
There's one answer.
I would have to go with the Boston Celtics.
Wrong.
Ah,
Sorry. 32 appearances, the LA Lakers.
that was my second choice, guys. You gotta go with your first mind. It was the Lakers.
Always.
Oh man, it was the Lakers first, but I'm like, no, the Celtics, them early years. Oh man,
You know
okay.
what's funny? Just a little life lesson right there. Trust your gut.
Oh my goodness. That was my first
Every
answer was the Lakers.
every time, trust your gut.
See, that's all. This interview is great.
Second question. The Lakers are tied with what other NBA team with 17 championships?
That's got to be the Celtics.
It is.
Okay, got it. That's got to be the Celtics.
Coach Hal knows his basketball. All right. Who is the only active NBA franchise with multiple final appearances with no losses? Who is the only active NBA franchise with multiple final appearances with no losses?
That's my Chicago Bulls.
It sure is, Coach.
Come on now.
It sure
That's
is, Coach Hal.
that's my Chicago Bulls.
All right, just a few more questions. In 1995, this 6th seed was the lowest seeded team in NBA history to win a championship.
That will be the Houston Rockets.
That would be the Houston Rockets.
Come on now.
Oh, you are good. If Alicia Keys was here, she'd say Coach Hal is on fire.
Listen, my fiance, that's her favorite artist in the world.
You know, just, I didn't mean to segue into her, but she is one spectacular human being.
Really?
I
She
don't,
seems like it from afar. She seems
I don't
like
know
it.
her personally, but all I see from her is sharing wisdom
Mm.
and sharing life lessons.
My fiance is that Alicia Keys is that's her one right there.
You know, anyone that stays true to who they are and
Sure.
they are who they are in a great moment or an uncomfortable moment.
Sure. That's good stuff.
I have a lot of
Yeah.
respect for those people who don't try
That's
to
good.
like put up a front.
That'll preach. Like the way you just articulated that, to be able to stay themselves in an uncomfortable moment or unpopular moment,
Right.
right? To be able to that's integrity. That's the definition of integrity.
To be able to fall in front of everyone and get back up.
Sure.
I have nothing but respect for people like that.
That's awesome.
Because that's life. So
That's awesome.
back to our quiz here. Which I'm having so much fun.
Yeah.
The first and only team based outside the United States to win an NBA title or reach the NBA Finals.
Oh, that's the Toronto Raptors.
Oh, you're so right. Good.
Oh, I should have went with. I'm still mad about my LA pick. I should have went with that first.
Listen. Don't cry over spilled milk. Come on.
Come on, talk to
You
me.
were right
Talk
there.
to
You were
me.
right there. You had the answer. We're gonna give it to you because that was your choice B. So we're just gonna move on from that. You were so close.
Yeah.
Which player has the most career blocks in the finals?
Ooh.
That's a
Wow.
good question.
That's a good one.
Which player has the most career blocks in the
in
finals?
the finals? Most career blocks in the finals. That is good. Oh, let me chew on that. Most
Ooh,
career blocks in
that's
the
a
finals.
hard one.
That's a good one. Most career blocks in the finals. I would have. Would it be LeBron James?
No,
Ah, I was gonna say Robert Parrish.
no, you're gonna
No,
die. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Kareem.
Was he before your time?
He was before my time,
Yeah,
but because I was gonna go Lakers again.
yeah.
I was gonna go Lakers again, but man, that's good.
That is
Kareem
a
has the
good one.
most.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I knew that was a hard one. This is a good one. This player has the most turnovers in the finals.
Wow, the
Most
most turnover.
turnovers in the finals.
Wow, that's a good one. I wouldn't know that one.
Maybe you would.
The most turnovers in a finals. Wow, no, you got to give me that one. That's a
LeBron.
great question.
LeBron.
What?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
What?
That's why
Oh,
I said you
wow.
might know.
He has the most turnovers in the final. Oh,
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
so my cousins are gonna eat that one up. I'm gonna
Oh,
tell them
that's
that one
really funny.
because we're Midwest kids, we're Chicago kids, but
Yeah.
LeBron, I feel like LeBron is the best all around player in
Of all
history.
time in history.
Yes, and
More than
and
Michael?
yes, Mike. So there's different categories, and people always have this debate, and
It's a pretty heated debate.
I tend not to have this debate with people, but the reason I say LeBron because I feel like he's the best all around player,
Yeah.
right? Like Michael was a better scorer
Yeah.
than LeBron,
Yeah.
but LeBron at his prime was a better defender because
Yeah.
he's just bigger. Like he can do everything at 6'9".
Yeah.
He's a better rebounder and he's a
Yeah.
better passer than Mike.
Oh, interesting. Interesting.
Just all around. But what people take Mike over LeBron, and they don't know why, but I know why. They take Mike over LeBron because as they grew up, Michael Jordan was their hero.
Me.
Right, right. It's the campaign, the marketing campaign that came behind Michael Jordan made him a icon,
Legend. Yeah,
made him
exactly.
a legend,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so the hate that LeBron gets, it's because people don't want to because he is that great and he actually questions that legacy
Yeah.
and people don't want to see their hero go down.
Yeah. Just
So,
someone watching that period of time in basketball, that was the only time I really watched basketball.
mm,
Son plays now, so it's different. But everybody was watching, everyone kind of stopped and watched basketball during that time.
sure, sure.
And yeah, I agree with you. He was a great player. I mean,
Great player.
there's
Great player.
you watch that guy play and you're watching someone great.
Sure.
You
Sure.
do. But yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
and also
I
too,
don't know basketball.
people are attracted to the killer instinct,
Yeah,
that Michael, that Kobe, that some of those guys had. LeBron has it, he just has it in a different way.
yeah,
LeBron is more like a Magic Johnson type.
yeah,
Right. He's not the Mamba mentality that Kobe had and
yeah,
just different.
yeah.
And it's not as movie star-ish.
Gotcha.
It's not as sexy. It's not as
It's not as packaged.
correct. So
Yeah,
that's why that debate goes there. But
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. Three more questions.
Uh-huh.
In one series, who had the most steals?
What's the question again?
In one series, who had the most steals?
In one series. These are getting good. Those are great ones. Um,
Do you want a hint?
sure.
1988.
Okay, that takes away my first answer. In 88. 88, that's good. Would that be 88? Would that be Joe Dumars?
Isaiah Thomas.
Oh my gosh!
I
I was about to say Isaiah Thomas,
told
but
you, what's wrong? You're
gosh, I gotta listen to you because
good.
I was gonna say Isaiah Thomas, but he played the point guard, and Joe Dumars played more off the ball, so he would probably get more steals than Isaiah, but it was Isaiah. Gosh darn it.
That's going to be the lesson for the kids this week. Trust your gut.
Come on.
This player had the most 3-point field goals during one series of the finals.
The most three-point field goals.
Most 3-point field goals during one series of the finals. 2016.
Steph Curry.
Yep, you're right.
See, I almost made the same mistake again because I was gonna go Steph Curry, but then I'm like, wait, Klay Thompson had a
You trusted your gut.
dog. Yes.
Look at that.
Yes. See, we're getting somewhere.
Trust your gut.
We're
Last
getting
question.
somewhere.
Last question. Who is the player that led an overall career point tally in the finals?
One more time.
Who is the player that led an overall career point tally in the finals? Who scored the most points in the finals?
That's LeBron.
Jerry West. I don't even know who that is.
What?
Who's
Wow.
Jerry West? One.
Like overall?
Yeah.
Wow.
He's the player that led an overall career point tally in finals.
In the overall in the finals. Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's a good one. I can see that. Jerry West was early.
Like,
He was the NBA logo before they switched it to Jordan.
oh, interesting.
Hmm.
Interesting. And that, my new friend, Hal Washington from Phoenix, Arizona, concludes our quiz and our interview. This was a real pleasure.
It was the highlight of my day so far.
It was a real pleasure. I will absolutely be reaching out in the future for a follow.
Sure. Sure. I'm
so-
always open.
This is a see you later type moment, not
Sure.
goodbye. So
I'm looking forward to it. I would sometime in the future I would like to get over what do you do for a living?
I'm a stay-at-home mom.
Awesome.
I'm a
Awesome.
stay-at-home mom, and I really I wanted to start using my heart in the right way. And this idea just kind of came to me of connecting with people, I'm kind
Well,
of
I would love to come to New York and meet you personally.
absolutely. Here's to a continuing relationship.
Yes.
And thank you so much. Have a really wonderful weekend. It was a pleasure meeting you.
You as well. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Coach Hal. That was amazing.